Sultanas and Power, Love Stories of the Ottoman Harem. The Ottoman Harem, long a source of mystery for European explorers, was a favorite topic for authors who penned hundreds of pages attempting to shed light on this reclusive focal point. The harem quarter at Topkapi Palace continues to draw thousands of visitors every year, despite the fact that the issue is still being discussed by many. The Ottoman padishahs used to wed Turkish girls in the early days of the empire. The palace began selecting slaves from other countries to become concubines as the kingdom grew. Contrary to popular assumption, the harem women's population did not consist solely of the sultan's wives. The harem group also included the wives and maids of former padishahs and their families. Up until 1550, the first Ottoman harem was located in the Old Palace, which is now part of the Istanbul University campus. The proposal to relocate the harem to Topkapi Palace was raised after a severe fire destroyed the palace. After some time, Suleiman the Magnificent gave his approval for the harem's move to Topkapi after being persuaded by his wife Hurrem Sultan. Women began to take part in governmental administration not long after the harem was added to Topkapi Palace. Controlling the harem. There was a rigid ranking system in the harem. Ascending in a hierarchical sequence, the head wife, the padishah, sultan's concubines, female servants, their overseers, and slaves were ranked after valid sultan, the mother of the sultan. The need to become one of the padishah's esteemed wives was to have a son who could be the heir apparent. The Islamic jurisdiction at the time allowed slaves to sell, donate, or offer presents. Hurrem Sultan, the first slave to marry a sultan in Ottoman history, was liberated after giving birth to a son. She managed the harem community. Concubines, mostly female captured during wars, were observed for 24 hours before payment, with defects reduced accordingly. How many concubines there are in the harem? Each sultan's harem contained a different amount of concubines. It is well known that the empire's early founding and development periods saw a relatively low number of concubines. The population of the harem peaked at 809 during Sultan Abdulaziz's reign, having risen from 456 during Mahmud's first reign to 688 during Abdulmecit's. Sultan Murat V recounts his first encounter with a concubine at age 13. While working on carpentry, he heard a woman's voice and felt a surge of emotions. A beautiful Circassian girl approached him, whispering something. Feeling ashamed and astonished, she offered to take a pause, stating that no one could listen to them at the time. The padishah was also informed and watching the situation. In 1898, German Emperor William II visited Sultan Abdülhamit II and asked about his 8 wives. Sultan Abdülhamit replied that he had 8 wives, despite his wife's reddening face. The emperor questioned how he managed 8 women while dealing with only one empress. Sultan Abdülhamit praised the conversation as an art.